Hi guys, it's me again, Carol with Refunction Crafts, and today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I had this old easel thing, and I think it came from the Dollar Tree, I'm pretty sure. I've had this one for years now, and I haven't done anything with it except paint it, and then I distressed it a bit, because I wanted to give it that distressed look. So I did sand it a bit just to kind of make it more distressed. And so the only thing is that on this one, the little back piece that goes on here to hold this where it's supposed to be, although it does sit pretty nicely no matter what, I did take that off at some point for some reason. I'm going to try and rig something to the back of this so that it won't go past a certain point and fall down. I don't think it would do that, but you know, you never know. And not that there's really anything that could get hurt if it did, so it really doesn't matter, I guess. But anyway, so I've got this. This came from Dollar Tree long time ago, but I want to say I've seen them since, like even recently, but I'm not positive, you guys. And then I've got this image that I've had for a little while of this lady walking her little Scotty dogs. And I cut these pieces out because I'm going to 2D this. I've got some butterflies. I've got some little paper notes or inspirational quotes. This one says, do something you're looking forward to. And I love this one. I think it's very, very pretty. Let me get my thumbs off of it. It's very pretty. So that would fit this image. And then this one says, step outside and soak up fresh air. So, or soak up the fresh air, I should say. And that's very pretty as well. So I need to decide which of those I'm going to use. I've got some lace over here. I've got some little silk ribbon flowers that my friend Robin sent me. And Robin also sent me these. So we're going to be using at least one of those today. This is something that I got from my friend Susie, and I love it so much, and I can't wait to use it. So I may use a piece of this. I'm thinking possibly at the bottom here. We'll see. It may turn out that we don't need this. This is kind of a maybe piece. And we've got some little trim laces here. I'm not going to use that for sure. And I have this in case I want to hang it down here at the bottom. So, and then I've also got some brushed brass filigree corners. So, and then I've got this. She believed she could, so she did. And I added a rhinestone to the top where the hole is on that, because this is a charm. Didn't want it to be a charm. I want it to maybe go on here somewhere. You guys know me and my inspirational quotes. It is my thing. I love them so much, and especially when I find a good one that I believe in. So, and that is one of my favorites. So, let's go ahead. The first thing that we really have to do is we have to get this done. So, the way that we're going to do that is, number one, Miss Carol is going to put on some gloves. Can you believe it, you guys? I'm going to put on some gloves because we are going to work a little bit with some resin. And I just don't feel like making a mess with resin on my hands. So, I'll just tuck my little bracelet charm in there. There we go. And we are ready to roll. These are a little bit big on me. I like my gloves to fit tight, so I usually use small gloves just because then my fingers, I don't have the, you know, all the extra bulk here, but that's okay. These work fine. for what we're going to do today, these are going to be fine. So the first thing that I am going to do is I'm going to take my little pad here and I'm going to put that in my lamp first of all, before I forget. And I'm going to spread a layer of resin over the top of this first piece. Not too thick, you guys. I'm just going to kind of brush it in there. I've got my little makeup brush here that I use. I buy these makeup brushes at the Dollar Tree and I love, love, love them. They are so much nicer to use than your painting brushes, painter's brushes. For this, because when I brush this on here, it comes out very smooth. These bristles are so soft that it comes out nice and smooth, and I don't have to necessarily wash this in between each use. I have been using this particular brush for quite some time actually, and I have not cleaned it because what I've been doing is wrapping it in plastic, and that saves it from drying out. So, little tip trick. And we're gonna just kind of get that over to the edge. But what you do want to do is if you use any dyes or anything like that, of course you want to clean it so that you don't get, you know, weird colors all over everything you do. Okay, so that's on there pretty good. I am going to take my torch and I'm going to torch it because I see lots of tiny little bubbles. And here's the thing, when you're working with paper, you guys, and I know I've told you this before, you're gonna get a lot of bubbles, and that resin needs a little bit of time to soak in to the paper because it's going to continuously pop up those bubbles for probably a good 10 minutes. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to let this sit for just a few minutes. I'm going to add a little bit more because I just scorched it just a touch there, and I don't want that scorching to show. I put the heat on there too long. So there's just a couple of spots. And this is just kind of falling in and spreading on its own, but I'll just kind of brush it in a little bit. Get it to the edges a little more. And you're going to have to watch this piece because this is a big piece and it will cup. So you want to watch it while it's curing so that it doesn't cup too much. Now I'm just kind of really quickly and far away. This torch is one of my stronger ones. These torches that I've told you guys about, they actually come with different ones that have, like, I figured it out, they have kind of almost different strengths. So you have to be careful with them because one might be stronger than the next. And they do have a switch on the front here that you can adjust how fast it's coming out. But even with that switch, I believe that some of them are still stronger than other ones. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to put her over to the side, and then I'm going to put her under the lamp for 5 minutes to cure, and I will be right back. Okay, you guys, so I've got this out. It's pretty straight and pretty flat and nice and shiny. And what we're going to do next is we're going to place it onto the piece of wood. Now, my big question is, am I going to be able to get this to stick? I should have done that before I resined it. That's what I should have done. Let me see here. I don't know if I have another one of these or not. Is this the same? Nope, that's on yellow paper. Aww. I don't think I have any more on the white paper. I've got some on a yellow paper. Let's see, we'll keep looking. I've got other ones, but not this one. Okay, well, I feel like maybe I've just kind of ruined the chances of that. I mean, I can still do this with this one, but I should have put it on there before I decided to resin it, and I've just made it so that now it's kind of starting to cup a little bit, but I can still bend it back. I think, you know what? I can do this. I can do this. I've got it. I've got this figured out. Oops, keep those out. All right, here's what we're going to do. We are going to put some B7000 on here. And we're going to just go like into the corners. Like this. And we're definitely going to put this all across the middle here. And here's what we're going to have to do. I'm going to be putting a border around this piece anyway. So what we'll do is we'll use some hot glue to make this stick down the way we want it to. And we'll just put the hot glue sort of in between these spots. And then, let's make sure we're holding it the right way. And then what we'll do is we'll put our border down, and it should hold the whole thing in place. So that's what we're gonna give a shot to do. And we'll see what happens. If it doesn't work, I'll just pull it off and we will go another route. But I do have to do this quickly and get this centered the way I want it, and press, press, press. Got a glue string right across her face. That's okay, that'll come right off. And I'm just pressing this down so that it'll go flat. Look at that, it worked, you guys. Whew, that was a close call. But we are going to go ahead and we are going to put the border around this right now, because I want that to be something that is going to help hold this down as we go. So we're going to go ahead and get that on there right now. So we're just using this rose trim. It's like a rolled rose trim. And we're going to use our hot glue. And I'm just going to add some to the bottom side of this to get it started. And I think I'm going to start right here on this corner. Just like that. And I got 3 there. And just press it down really, really hard. So you guys, usually when you make a mess up like this, you can usually fix it. sometimes you have to just start from scratch again. And of course I only have one of these little stands, so I am not letting this stand go to waste. No way, no how. And so I'm just going to go along the edge here. And press, press, press. And that should hold this guy down. When you're doing this along the edges, try and pull your glue if you're lifting your hand, because you know you're going to get a little bit of ooze. Pull your hand out in that direction so that you don't get too many glue strings on the front of this. I mean, we can get those off, but we really don't want them on there to begin with, so. And for this, I do not like the glove because I can't press as hard as I do with my natural finger. Okay. And we're almost there to the finish line. Okay, the gloves are coming off. I can't do it, you guys. I gotta get me some tighter gloves. Those gloves are fine for some of the other stuff that I do, but this is too intricate. They're not working out for me. I've been using my gloves a lot more lately though, you guys, trying to do this the right way. And you guys should all use your gloves. Make sure you have some handy. And I use them, I do use them all the time when I'm just working on my own. But when you're trying to get something done more quickly, sometimes it's just not beneficial to have those gloves on because it tends to be a little bit burdensome. Okay. So there we go. We've got her all surrounded in that rose trim, and that looks really, really pretty, just even the way it is. Okay, so that's what we've got so far. And then what I want to do is I want to put these in the corners. And these are going to cover a little bit of that trim. And of course we have another issue with it. You just have to kind of bend this a little bit so that it fits on top of that trim like that. And this stuff is very bendable. It's very, very workable. And that way it doesn't look bad. And yes, it covers part of that trim, but you still have it on the in-betweens, and it's fine. What I could have done is I could have put these maybe around her like that instead of putting them on these corners, but I really want these on the edges of this frame. This is what I intended to do from the get-go, and this is what I shall do. Okay, so that's kind of where we're going to go with those, and I think they look really, really pretty on there. So, and I'm not worried whatsoever about this. So what I'm going to do here. Let's try and see what the best way to do this is going to be, to make sure this lays down so I can get it to stick on these edges really well. That one is good. That one is good. That one needs a little work. There is a little chamfer on the edge of this wood right here, from here to here, and I want to get to the inside of that chamfer. So I need to make sure I place these in exactly the right spot. If you don't want to know what a chamfer is, that's what you put in wood when you want like a decorative edge. Okay. Don't want to fuss with this for too much longer here. I'm wasting some time. Precious, precious time. Okay, so that's sort of what that's going to look like. And I think it looks just fine with those roses coming out in between. So I'm really happy with that. Okay, so now what to do? How do we want to do this? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some hot glue on the edge that is over the flowers. Pop it on there. And this edge is lifting up just a little on this one, and I do not want that. So I need to figure out how am I going to get that to go back down. There we go. Don't worry about the looseness of it right now, you guys. That's gonna go away. This is just kind of getting it into place so that it doesn't move when I go to get this edge down with resin. I feel like my best way of sticking this down is by using resin. So I'm going to do these, or at least start them one at a time, because I want to press this down while that resin starts to cure. And this is just my way of making sure that it does exactly what I want it to do. Just a little bit here to get it down and get it somewhat secure. And then we'll just move around the piece and we'll do each one of these. And this one I am just not liking the way it's bent so much right here. I don't like that. So we're just going to do this, and we're going to press it down, put our resin in there, and get the lamp and get that secured. And I'm doing this before I put those top pieces on the lady and the dog, because I want to have this part. I don't want to be fooling with anything towards the center too much with those on there. Not that I really think anything's going to happen to them, but I want to just be careful with it. And we've got this one. Okay, that one's down. And one more to go. This isn't it, you guys. This is just kind of the beginning on these. So this is this part, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish curing all of these corner pieces and getting them secured down, and then I will be right back. Okay, so we've got all the corners on there. Everything is secure, and you can see that's a little bit lumpy, but it doesn't look that way to look at it head on. So it looks fine, and I'm probably going to put another layer of resin to even everything out so that it looks nice and smooth. But for now, honestly, I don't think I need to do that, if I'm being perfectly honest. So I have a feeling I'm just going to leave that the way it is, and a couple of little, you know, a little bit of movement in it is not going to hurt it. What we do need to do next is we need to resin our second girl and our little puppies. So we're going to take our resin, and we're going to do it like we do the butterflies, and we're just going to cover these just this way. I'm not even going to paint it on. I'm just going to put it on. I want this layer to be just a bit thicker than it was on the bottom piece. And I will probably put 2 layers over these, because that's how I'm going to get them to look kind of more puffy and rounded, so to speak. I need to torch this just a touch. And whoopsies, I took out my doohickey. Let me lay those down on there and push that into my lamp. Okay, so those are getting started, and we need to check those as they start to curl. They will curl, you guys, just like the butterflies curl. They'll curl. You got to check them after probably like 30 seconds to a minute. And the layer of resin right now is still thin enough that you can, while it's still somewhat soft, you can move it and you can bend it back into position where you want it, like into a straight position. And I shouldn't do that right over the top of the main piece, because if it drips, then I'm gonna be mad at myself. As soon as I get her covered, whoops, I will pull out the puppy dogs. And put her under there. Let's grab the puppy dogs, and you can see they're a little bit bowed. We're going to take those and we're just going to bend them back. Bend them into position because it's still soft. It's warm and it's still soft. So you can do your bending now and do it now. Don't wait. And when I put the second layer on this, it's not going to be as likely to curl. So that's another reason for putting another good layer onto this, is to thicken it up, number one, and to keep it from curling. Sorry, I have to grab this over here. So now I'm just going to get this end. This is going to be so cute, you guys. It's going to be so cute. I can't wait. Pop the bubbles and pop it back under the lamp. And that's the same thing that I do with my butterflies. Now our lady is curling as well, so we're going to take her out and we're going to uncurl her edges because we definitely don't want her to be curled. If anything, we would want her to curve downward instead of upward. So if I do this a bit, and I'm getting fingerprints on this, I'm not worried about that. She's getting another layer of resin that's going to cover up any fingerprints, and the next time, like I said, she's not going to curl. Isn't she beautiful? I just think she's so pretty. I love these sleek ladies from the 20s. They wore such classy clothes. The 20s, and obviously the Victorian era. Oh my word! But I don't think I could have lived back then and had to wear corsets and all that stuff. No, thank you. Especially if you have a tummy ache already and you have to wear a corset. I think you're going to leave the party a little early, or at least I would be, because I'd have a bellyache within probably an hour or so. And I can't bear that kind of a bellyache. I used to wear, you know, not really girdles, but like the spandex things, like Spanx, to try and hold everything together. I gave that up real quick because I was wearing them after I had had weight loss surgery. And I wanted, of course, to hold all the imperfections that were left over in. And I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. After that surgery was when my tummy was telling me, no way, you're not doing this. You're done. So I have to live with what I have left, and it's fine. I have no trouble with that. And I'm just gonna do it my way. You know, I had some little glass. I'm gonna go see if I can find that. Okay, you guys, we got our puppies and we got our lady here, and they are ready to go. And we're going to use this, and I think I'm also going to resin this, but I don't think I'm going to use both of them. I think I'm only going to use one of these. And I will sort of lift it up off of the base, but just by one layer. there won't be another one underneath it, because I don't want to use both of them. I like this saying, or this quote, and I only have the 2 of each, so I'm going to go ahead and just use 1. And we will put this one back in the baggie. Just like that. I was looking for a little glass. Ooh, you know what I do have? These are so pretty. And I used one the other day out of the other package. Of course, I'm not sure where that package went. But that's okay. We've got this package out. These are such pretty butterflies that I got from the Dollar Tree. I love these. One of these might be pretty instead of these, because I'm looking at either using the blue like that, which is very, very pretty, or these pinkish ones are a little smaller, so I kind of like that because they're smaller. Those are very pretty. I'm kind of leaning towards the pink ones. Or we could use one of these, or 2 of these, whatever. These are awfully pretty. I used one in this, and I'm not done with this yet, but I did put one of them on that in the center, and it is so beautiful. It looks really good on this clear resin, because it just kind of brings out the whole clear vibe on those. Now the thing is that these are stickers, and they're soft. They're just very soft plastic, and unless I stick this right down onto that, which I'm going to leave these out. I may just do that. I may just use one and use it right there, or if I don't do that, I feel like I want to add a little more resin to this because it feels a little bit thin. So I'm just going to real quick. This one's been made for a long time. I made these little butterflies a long time ago. I do have to straighten this out, and I waited a little bit long for this, but that's okay. It's still bendable. The center is the thickest and the stiffest part of this, because that's where most of the resin pools. But I don't want to snap it either. So, okay, so I've got that straightened out. I'm going to add one more layer of resin to this. And it shouldn't curl anymore. So it should be exactly the way I want it. And I'm going to pop it in there. And if it's a little curled and whatever, it's a little paper sign. It's okay, actually. Maybe I should have done that. I should have maybe like curled it up on the edges, the opposite edges. Oh, that would have been so cute. You know what? I might try that on the other one and just save the one that I already started. I'm sorry, you guys. But if I do this, take my round pliers, these little round pliers, and take the corners without the flowers, of course, and roll them like this. like that. And then maybe take right here and roll it that way a little bit. Do the same thing with this edge. Roll it good. And then roll that back so that it kind of has a like a wavy look. I think that looks kind of cool. Just like that. Doesn't that look cute? What might have been nice too, I wonder, this is scary, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to try and toast the edges of this. Oh no, 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 no. Whoopsies. Well, since we've gone that far, we might as well just... Why not, you guys? We're trying something new today. I haven't burned anything in a long time to give it that burnt look. But that looks awesome. Okay, we went for it, you guys. Let me get this burn off of my fingers so I don't ruin anything else with it. Let's see, I've got some. Let me grab a clean wipe. And we will get it off of here because some of the ashes dropped. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to put a light layer of resin on this. I'm not going to put a thick layer. I'm just gonna lightly add a little bit of resin there. Take my little brush and brush it over the top. That's all I'm gonna do. But I do want it resined because I want it protected. And that looks awesome. Okay, now I'm going to pop that in there. And we'll see how that turns out. And we still have our flat one that we can use on something else. So I'm just going to pop this one in the package now. And there we go. because I know this other one's going to turn out awesome. Make sure I don't have any resin on my bottle. I hate when I touch these bottles and they're covered in resin. Okay, so next what we're going to do is I want to put a couple of these little pearls on her hat, but I'm going to wait and I'm going to put it on after I put the top one on. You can see I cut the feathery piece off on this. Why I did that, I'm not sure. But it sticks out at the bottom, so that's okay. We're good there. But what we need to do is we need to take our foam tape. I'm going to cut one of these squares out here. And we are going to put some on the back of her. I'm just going to cut little strips. And if you guys, I have done this in another video that I did. It was a tin with the polka dot dress girl wrapped around the tin. So if you want to watch that video, it's a really cool process. I did make that one, and you can see how I did that and wrapped it around the tin. It's super, super cool. And I'm going to put these strips right kind of down the middle. Take off both sides of the tape, or the plastic, I should say. Plastic, paper. Goodness gracious. I tell you guys, I'm losing it. And I'm probably going to have to cut another one as well. In fact, I know I'm going to. Because I want this one right here. I'm going to have to cut more anyway for the puppy dogs. And you can see how I took the puppy dogs and I cut on either side of their leashes there. That's what that is. You can barely see the leash. It's so light, but it's there. I'm going to make these pretty thin. Because I don't want these to be visible from the outside. And I think this one, whoops, I'm going to cut into 2 little squares just in case. Okay, so let's finish getting these on here. And this one's nice and thin, which is what I want right down here at her legs and feet. Okay, there's that. I'm going to put one more, I think one of these squares. I want one more piece right in here. Okay, that's good for her. Let's go ahead and do our doggies. Might as well get those done too. One there. wish I had one more cut, so we're going to cut one more strip off of this. We'll just go this way. And we'll put that right there. See if we can get rid of these papers. It's so hard with these nails to pick anything up right. I just don't want those sitting all around there. Okay, so I think that's good. And oh, we're gonna need also one for this. Just a tiny drip. On the back of that. I'm going to go ahead and put my light on that for a second. And pop the resin on the other side of this top wing. I should probably do the other butterfly as well. No, this one's more than sufficiently resined. Okay. And let me grab this. We'll cut this off. Cut this into 3 pieces. And that will be sufficient, I think, for this piece. This is so cute. I see one spot where I didn't get resin. I hate when I do that. So now I'm going to put one more little coat of resin over the top of this. Just because I can't just do one little spot. It'll look bumpy and it won't look right. I can't believe with all that brushing and everything, I didn't catch that one little tiny spot. Right in the middle, too. Okay, there we go. Get my white bee. And that'll just take a short time to cure. And I will be right back. You know what, you guys, we're going to go ahead, and while we're waiting, we're going to go ahead and put this lace on. I totally forgot. This is going to be on here too. So we're going to start, just want to see where I want it placed, if I want it to go to kind of lean back. Like that. Or do I want it around the edge? Kind of like it right at the edge. I think I'm going to do the edge. So let's go ahead, let's get this on while we're waiting. Actually, the other piece is ready, but we might as well just go ahead and do this. Okay, let's get the right side. And you and I both know I shouldn't go across that whole thing like that, but I'm gonna, because I think I can do this relatively quickly. Okay. And then I want to see if I can somehow do like that. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do on the edge. And put a little dot there. Fold that over. I need to get a better hold on this. And then, oh my goodness. Carol, I need to put these away before I end up ruining them. I got resin on the package. That's why I keep getting resin on my hands. I keep trying to figure out where am I getting that from. It's on that package with those quotes. I'm going to go ahead and stick that piece down. And then go along there. This is so pretty, you guys. It's coming out so pretty. There's me and this lace. I'm going to use it and use it until it's all gone. At least I know where I can get more. So that's a good thing. And we're going to fold that over like we did the other edge. Just like that. And then go right along here. No, what did I do? It's too short. My goodness, it's okay. I've got more. I just can't believe I did that. You know what? I think initially I had planned on using it on the inner section because I just decided today to use those filigree pieces. So let's cut this off. Okay, we don't need that. And let's see how we're going to match this together. Actually, that is the next piece. So we'll just go like that, right? Do. This goes like that. Nope, that's not long enough. All right, where's my, there it is. Scared myself for a minute there. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Well, no, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna make this corner because I want my corners to all be the same. So I'm gonna create this corner. Pop that down right there. And then take this and figure out how the next piece is supposed to go. Yeah, it goes like that. So we cut we're going to keep that piece on, cut that off, and cut that off. And we're going to just take this and glue it right there so that it matches. So that will go just like that, and it matches up perfectly. There's 2 layers of it, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. I can live with that. And then we've still got to take and make that corner piece right here, because we want all the corners to look the same. Okay, so I'm gonna glue this little flower down. Get that little piece of green whatever off of there. So we'll glue that flower down. And then put a little bit of glue right there. Fold that up like we did the other corners. And glue this little piece down. And then we need to cut off that little section right there. And those will overlap just a little bit, but that's okay too. I am a-okay with that. So there we go, you guys. Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. Okay, so now we've got that done. And we've got our little burnt piece here. You know what, you guys? I kind of feel like maybe I should put resin on the back of this since I burned it, because that burn might just get on something else, and I don't want to ruin anything else just because I didn't do one step that I should have done. I didn't think of that till now, but it's definitely a possibility that that would happen. So let's go ahead and put her in there one more time. Okay, the other thing I was looking at this, and I was actually thinking about putting this on it somewhere. And if I had, I don't want to cover any of that up. It probably would have been best up at the top. I'm going to set this up and I'm going to look at it and see what that looks like. It actually looks really pretty. It actually adds a really nice decorative touch. So here's what I'm going to do. I know you guys can't see this real well. There, I'll set it like that. And now you can see it. Okay, I am going to add this right down in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my B7000 and I'm going to just kind of put it up to these edges. just on that swirly part. And then I'm going to take a nice blob of hot glue in the center, and I'm going to pop that on there, and I can center it right at that wooden piece. Just put it at an angle so that it will stay right there, and that piece isn't going to get in the way. Okay. Ah, there I go again. Both of them. That's not what we want to do, folks. My eyes are starting to give out on me. Okay. So now we've got that on there. Isn't it pretty? I think it looks really pretty on there. Okay, next thing is we've got our two butterflies here. Do we want to? I really feel like I want to use the butterflies I initially started out with, and that would be putting those there and there. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with my gut on this one. And I did want to put some flowers in here somewhere. Maybe what I could do, let's just snip a few of these off and maybe make a couple of little tiny groupings of these flowers. Trying to cut them so that they don't end up unwinding. I don't know, whoop, like that. That's what I didn't want to do. Okay, let's set that aside. I've already cut a couple of these roses off of here to use them in something else. Uh-oh, where did it go? Where did you go? Oh, there you are. Maybe there, and maybe down here. Nope. I don't know. I'm not sure about those yet. Let's go ahead and put our lady together and our doggies together. That's what we've been waiting for, right? And we're going to off-center it just a bit over to the right. Just like that. But yet she's lifted up, and you can see kind of like the shadowing from behind. And then our baby puppies, we're going to do the same. Off slightly to the right. and up to her hand there. Just like that. And then, trying to think if I want to put something like right there, like, I don't know if a little flower would look cute or not. Just because that one spot, just having that point right there, maybe what I do, here we go. We'll put that under her hand. There we go. That looks way better. Okay, all set. All right, so those are on there, and they are on there well. And I'm not, usually I will resin underneath, but I'm not going to do that this time. So hopefully, let's see, maybe I could, here's what I could do maybe. See about putting the white flower and just a small grouping of these. Sort of like that. That looks pretty. And then if I go with this here, not with the glue strings, put that one there and that one there. And I think that looks gorgeous. But the other thing I do want to do here is I need to put one of these behind her head here. Oops, I'm sorry you guys, you're probably looking at the back of my head. Sorry. Yes. Did it get in there right? Okay, those can be moved. I've got to get this finished first. Okay, no, I did not get that in there right. I think I need to cut this down just a tad. It's a little bit too big. We're going to put that right there. Yeah, I think we are going to have to put some resin in there because I feel like I'm going to end up with a piece that is going to come apart. So what we'll do, yeah, is I am going to get my resin. And I'm going to get a bottle that is completely clean. So I'm not going to get any resin on my hands. And I'm just going to squeeze it in there on this side very quickly. And then I'm going to have to hold it down. Oh, what did I do? Oh. I'm going to have to hold it down here. Get that thing gripped. Okay, she's in the right spot. I need to hold it down, and I need my thing here. Oh, and I need my bottle out of here. This is not going well. It's okay. We got this. I'm just going to hold that on there, And I'm going to have to probably put some more resin in there, because I don't know if I got top and bottom real well. As long as it's stuck to the top piece and the bottom piece, I can get the other side going. I'm just gonna, and now I'm gonna have to definitely wipe this. Because there's a couple of drips. And a big old drip coming out this side. Oh my word. Yeah, we're going to end up having to put another layer of resin on the bottom piece. And somehow try to do that without getting it on these little rosettes too much. I don't like it when it gets on the lace. You know what I might do? I know what I might do. I think I'm gonna use some glass glitter, you guys. Woohoo! I just decided. I didn't even think about that, but I think some glass glitter on this background would be amazing. So we are going to do that. I didn't even think about that, but I don't use it that much anymore, so I hadn't even thought about it. But that is an awesome idea. This on there quickly before it starts to run again. Okay, we're just going to set it just like that. Let's go ahead and take this and put some pieces of this on here. And we don't need much as far as the foam on the back of this little sign, just maybe 2 pieces. I think that will probably cover it just fine. And I think I got that okay for now. And then if these are going to go here, let's see, that would be kind of cool right there. Or maybe in the middle of that. What do you think, you guys? Okay, let's put this here. We could put this over here. I like that there. You know what? I like that there. And what I might do is maybe use 1 rose. Nope, don't even need the rose. I'm just going to put that in there. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to get this on there. And I've got some sticky on this, so we're going to go ahead and we are going to Put a little bit of resin on this. She's gonna go there. Put a little bit of resin on this girl. She's gonna go right there. And I want to paint a little bit on the top of this again because I got fingerprints in it. And this time it will get nice and finished off, and I won't touch it with resiny hands. That's what I did. I got resin on my hand and I touched it. And even the gloves wouldn't have helped with that because the resin would have been on my gloves. So that's something you just kind of deal with this stuff. Okay, I'm going to get that out of there. We're going to put this lamp right there. And we're going to take this apart and we're going to put this lamp on the other side. And we are going to get all sides of this nicely resined and cured. And I will be right back. Okay, you guys, so I did get the butterflies on. I did add these two little flowers and this pearl in her hair. And I added two little flowers to this. I thought that kind of made it. And then I also added her, she believed she could, so she did here. We are letting this sit right now though, because I need to let this get a little bit more cured before I do anything else with it. Actually, maybe what I should do, and I think I will do, is I'm going to add a bit of resin right here. And right here to make sure that this stays down. And what I may have to do, you know what, guys, I'm gonna have to brush it in through the whole thing, because it's not gonna look right if I only put resin on that one little section. So let's paint that on there real quick. It'll only take a second. But at least now I know that's going to stay on there. Oh. I did get some pink on this. And I know exactly where I got it from. I resined a sticker onto, it was one of my clear flower stickers from the new ones that I had just bought, the ones that I said were a little smaller than I wanted them to be. I resined one to a box yesterday, and the pink started to swirl right into the resin. The good thing is it looked good on the box, so I left it. I thought it looked great, actually, because it made like a kind of not solely pink. It was like not marbled, but kind of fuzzy pink. And so it actually looked really, really nice. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and let that cure, and then we'll come back and do the glass glitter. Okay, guys, let's go ahead, and we are going to gently add our resin to this, not touching the lace. We are not going to touch that lace. if it is at all possible. So I'm going to go just as close as I can get to it without touching it. And when you're doing this and you're going to put glass glitter on, you don't have to be as careful with, you know, making sure that you're perfectly straight and you got perfect pour, so to speak, because the glass glitter is an uneven surface, and so it's going to cover up any imperfections. But I do not want it to get on I really don't want it to get on her either, now that I think about it. Although, you know what? Maybe I do. Maybe I do want to get some glass glitter on her fur. I think that would be pretty. I think I'm going to do that. So I'll just brush a little bit along her little fur lines here. Right there. I have a little glue strings, I swear. They are my enemy. I don't have many enemies, but glue strings are one of them. Okay, I don't think it came off, but I can't see it anymore, so. I guess this is part of the background too, right? So we'll get a little bit on there. And here I'm just trying to gently dab it. There we go. I think that will cover it. And we will gently go around and make a nice glittery surface. Gotta look, there's some pieces of glitter in here that have gotten kind of, I've probably dripped a little bit of resin in the jar, and so it balled up together. So there is some of that in here. And here I'm going to need to kind of try and get those out of here before I put the light on. And that should cover it. I hope it looks pretty with that. God, wouldn't it be horrible if I ruined the whole thing because I put glass glitter on it? And I am deciding, you guys, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with the back stand, the kickstand. I'm just not convinced that what I had in mind is the best thing for it. So I don't think that I'm going to mess with that at this present time. I just am starting to think maybe I just don't need to do that. I feel like maybe that's kind of an unnecessary thing. So yeah, that's not going to work. What do? I put 2 round pieces of whatever in there. Here we go. I've got 2 lids to spray paint cans. Those will work. That's what I usually use. Okay, so I'm going to let this go for 5 minutes, you guys, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I think we've got it. There's only one thing. I'm not loving the way these flowers are looking right here. I love that one, and the pearl is fine, but I'm not liking this flower behind because it just kind of doesn't set well. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put a dot of hot glue right in there, and I tested this, so I'm going to pop this flower right in there, and I'm going to kind of push it in there to get it to sit the way that I want it to, like that. And that looks much, much better. So that's the only thing I wanted to change about it. Outside of that, you guys, she turned out beautiful. Look at that. Isn't it gorgeous? You got lots of sparkle in the background. Yet the parts that aren't supposed to sparkle don't sparkle. And that's the way the little sign looks on there. Isn't that cute? And it does have that wavy look and the burn. So that's what that looks like. And I think she turned out really great. And then she believed she could, so she did. And I did resin over the top of this as well. So that is it, you guys. I might have a couple of pieces of glass glitter that I'm going to have to scrape off of here just so that I don't have a whole bunch of sharp edges. It's kind of almost impossible to get rid of all of them with glass glitter. Maybe that's why I don't use it as often anymore. But yeah, this is not a gift for a child, for sure. This will go into my Etsy shop, you guys. So if you're interested in it, I will have it in within a week. I still have a couple of finishing touches. I like getting this figured out. If I get it figured out quickly, then it'll be in there before you even view this video, but I have to figure that out. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure, first of all, if I even need to, because even if it did slip and fall, nothing's gonna break. So it's perfectly sturdy and nothing's breakable on it, so it would still be fine. But that's it, you guys. Super pretty. And I will take pictures of it, maybe on my mantle or something where you can see it on the stand and see how pretty she is. I love it. So anyway, I'd like to say thank you all for watching today. Thank you for being here. And I hope you will all come back for my next video. I will have another great video coming up. Well, I don't know if I'll have one on Sunday. It may be Monday before I get another one up, maybe even longer, I don't know. I've got to work tomorrow, and I think I might have, I don't know, tomorrow's Thursday. I work tomorrow, and I think I might have Friday off, and then I work Saturday. So if I have Friday off, then I will try and make another video on Friday and have that one up for Sunday as well. So if I'm lucky, I will get both of the weekend videos up. This last week I tried it a little differently. I put a video up on Thursday and then a video up on Saturday. Didn't have a lot of luck with the Thursday video, so I don't think Thursday is a good day. They say on YouTube there's certain days that are good and certain days that are not so good. So Thursday was definitely not a great day, although I did have one video that I put up on, I want to say it was a Thursday, and it had great results. So I don't know if I believe all those statistics. Maybe it's just, you know, luck of the draw. I don't know. But anyway, you guys have a great day. God bless each and every one of you. Stay safe, stay well. Love your family. Hug them, squeeze them as much as you can. And be kind to others. And I will see you in the next video. God bless. Stay tuned for pictures. Love ya. Bye.